Alrighty, 6.0C, this is more review, triangles and angles. So we're going to be using a protractor to measure the angles, and then notice that I've got a ruler in centimeters here also. Okay, if you wanted to use a ruler that looks like this for the side lengths, you could do that as well. So doesn't matter either way. All right, so you are making side measurements, angle measurements, and then you're classifying the triangles based on sides and angles. Okay, so please remember that sides are either going to be scalene, equilateral, and isosceles. Okay, and again, you should know those terms from 6.0A, the vocabulary list. Scalene means that no sides are equal. Isosceles means that at least two sides are equal. And equilateral means at least three sides are equal. Okay, so here's my challenge question. Is an equilateral an isosceles triangle, or is an isosceles triangle an equilateral triangle? Okay, hopefully you're saying an equilateral triangle is an isosceles triangle. All right, and then angles, we kind of did that on that 6.0B. Let me do that in blue. Angle, and I'm kind of squeezing it in over here. Acute, obtuse, right. Okay, and again, those are vocabulary terms from 6.0A vocabulary, those pages of review for geometry. Acute, remember, is a measurement between 0 and 90. Obtuse is between 90 and 180. And right is equal to 90. All right, so let's get to measuring. And I'm going to do one. I would suggest watching how I do one. And then if you want to fast forward me to maybe pause and do, and then you can just fast forward to see if you got the answers, that'll work. Okay, because these are all the same. We've got, how many do we have here? 6 of them? 6 of them to do the exact same thing on. All right, side measurements. You guys, I'm going to go ahead and just label. And I've got things, I need to use the shorter one. I've got like the base of my dot cam. So I'm looking at about a 8.6, 8.5. Okay. 8.5 centimeters. And I'm just going to kind of turn my paper accordingly here, and I'll push it up so to try to see, make sure you're seeing it. Okay, this guy. Okay, that's about 5.7 centimeters. And this is about 8 even, 8.0. Okay, it's really also important to understand if you print out of your printer, sometimes going from a Word document to a PDF and then to print, sometimes it changes the size of the shape that you're measuring. So just make sure that you're measuring, you might be different than mine. I think when I did them on my last piece of paper, they were slightly different. So just make sure that you're just measuring properly with the shape that you have. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and do my angle measurements. So I'm going to line that up. This looks to be going through 65 or 115. Remember, this is an acute. Okay, so it's going to be a 65-degree angle. I'm going to write that in a different color. I'll use pink. And if I tuck it right in there, that's what that means, that that's 65. Okay, and I'm going to twirl this around. This angle right here is the one I'm measuring. That looks to be going through about 76. Got one more, and it's helpful to just twirl your paper around so that it's easy for you to line everything up. This is going through 40, not 140, 40. Okay, now some of you might know from a prior grade that those 3 pink numbers should add to what? 180 degrees total in a triangle. Okay, so if you add these together, I'm very close. I'm not going to be perfect because I have human error. I can be off a couple of degrees on each one of these. Okay, so I could probably be anywhere from, I'd say 175 to 185 if I add them up, taking into account human error. All right, let's classify this thing. All the sides are different. Okay, all the sides are different. That means scalene. And then all the angles are under 90. So that means acute. Okay, I probably should have stayed color coded with my purple and my blue. All right, so let me write scalene acute or acute scalene. It doesn't matter. Okay, that is how we're going to be doing all 6 of these. So you guys decide how fast or how quick, no, that's the same thing, how fast or slow you need to watch these. Okay, I'm going to be going through them. It's going to take some time. I think if you've gotten 2 of them correct, you're probably good to go. Okay, if you need all 6 of them, they're there for practice if you need them. All right, I'm going to stay consistent with measuring this in blue. All right, so that's about an 8.7, I'd say, 8.7. 8.7, and then this guy is, oops, sorry, I was doing the angles. This is about a 4.2. And then this one is about a 7.6. Okay, those are all different. We know that it's scalene. Okay, now let's measure the angles. Okay, this looks to be pretty straight up 90. And if it helps to elongate that line to see that it goes through, oh, sorry, it shows that it goes through the 90 up there. Okay, so 90, I'll keep in my pink for that. And then this guy, looks to be about 29. This guy, oops, you can't see it. This guy looks to be about 29. And then the last one, and again, you might need something to elongate the line. Okay, that's not 120, it's 60, it's smaller. This angle's smaller than 90. Okay, so again, those pink numbers should add up to right about 180. Okay, I'd say anywhere between 175 and 185, you're perfect. All right, so We are a right triangle because of this guy, and we are scalene. Okay, so scalene right. Okay, on to the next one. I think what I'm going to do, you guys, is I'm going to be on a roll with just measuring my side lengths here on both of these. Looks to be about 7.0 to me. This guy, 8.8. $3.7. $9.5. $6.12, somewhere around there. $6.3 on this one. Okay, now I've got to measure some angles. Okay, so I know that these are all scalene. If you measured these to be the same, you would be isosceles. Okay, I didn't measure them to be the same, so it's not going to be isosceles for me. Okay, let me get my pink pen and do some angles. Okay, it goes through the 120 or the 60. It's a fat angle bigger than 90. I'm taking the 120. This is 120 degrees. This guy right here is 20. This guy right here goes through the 20. And then this guy right here it's going through 40. So again, the pink number should add up to 180. Okay, I definitely have a scalene, but obtuse this time because this one angle is bigger than 90. Scalene obtuse. Okay, let me get the angles of this guy. Okay, I'm seeing 45, maybe 46. This guy over here. Pretty much 45. And this guy right here. Pretty much a 90. Okay, so this would be a scalene right for me. If you got these two to be equal, which you might have, let me scooch it up so you know what I'm pointing at. If you got these two to be equal, you would have an isosceles right. Mine is scalene right. All right, I've got two more on that last side there. I'm going to kind of do them in the same way. Okay, let me get my blue pen out for my side lengths. I'm going to do all 6 sides on both of these here. All right, I'm seeing pretty much 8.0 straight up. I'm seeing about a 9.5 there. I'm seeing about a 3.3 on this one. I'm I'm seeing about an 8 straight up on this one. .5 and another 8. Okay, so I've got all my side measurements. Let me get my pink pen for my angle measurements. 60 degrees is what this one is. .60 degrees is what this one is. Let me do these while the paper's still rotated properly. I'm going to need something to extend that. It's right about 82. And this guy, okay, I'm kind of up on a slant here, so it's not going to be perfectly accurate. Looks like about 20. Looks like about 80 right here. And then this guy, kind of up on a slant. 60. All right, let's classify these. So you guys all right with this one is going to be acute because these are all smaller than 90 and it's equilateral. Okay, this one's also isosceles because it has at least 2 sides. Okay, but we always want the best, most specific. So acute, equilateral. This guy, I've got 2 side lengths being the same, and they're all smaller than 90. So this is going to be an acute isosceles. All right, so that is how to measure side lengths and angles with an instrument, protractor, ruler, and then how to classify them based on sides and angles. Okay, thanks guys.